Now, buddy, we all know that forgiving is difficult, right? It's easier said than done. And when it comes to forgiveness, it's easy to forgive others for the mistakes they've made, but it's much harder to forgive ourselves for our own mistakes, for the things we've done in the past. Many of us dwell on the past and things we've said or done, on how we acted or lived, and we get stuck in these mistakes, wasting so much time. But the Buddha teaches us how to look at our mistakes, how to move forward, and how to grow from them. In this video, we're going to discuss how to deal with the mistakes we've made in the past, how to correct them, and how to move forward. I want to share with you the advice the Buddha gave to monks who had made mistakes, and how they were guided to deal with them. The Buddha said that growth in training comes from recognizing a mistake for what it is, dealing with it properly, and committing to not repeating it in the future. The first step in dealing with a past mistake is to accept it, acknowledge the mistake for what it is. This is called acceptance. One of the hardest things for us to do is accept that we've made mistakes. Why? Because our ego gets in the way. We often think we're always right and that we shouldn't make mistakes. But the reality is, we're all human. We're imperfect, and we all have flaws in our minds that lead us to make mistakes. There's a saying, as long as you make mistakes, you're human. So understand that being human means you'll make mistakes. Accept this, and don't hate yourself for it. The real problem isn't the mistake itself, it's the worrying, brooding, and dwelling on it, wishing you hadn't said or done something. This wastes valuable time that could be used to create something better in your life. That's why the Buddha teaches us to accept the mistake. Acceptance is the first step toward healing, and it frees you from self-hatred. Once you accept your mistakes, you open your mind to move on. The Buddha says to see the wrong thing as a wrong thing, acknowledge the mistake. After you accept it, the next step is to confess it to someone who can understand you. Find someone who won't judge you, someone who can give you good advice, and confess your mistake. Why confess? Because sharing what's weighing on you with someone who understands you brings relief. Your mind becomes free, and you open yourself up to healing and advice. Sometimes we can't handle every problem on our own. Asking for help is difficult, but if you ask, the right people will be there to help you. The Buddha advises us not to tell everyone about our mistakes, but to find at least one person who understands us, doesn't judge us, and can offer good advice. Having wise, noble friends is incredibly valuable. The Buddha then says the next step is to take the right actions to ensure the mistake doesn't happen again. Being restrained in the future is essential. Making the same mistake repeatedly shows no growth, but learning from different mistakes over time shows progress. We'll make thousands of mistakes in this life, but if we commit to not repeating them and learning from them, we'll grow. Every difficult situation and mistake we make offers a valuable lesson. The problem is, we think we shouldn't make mistakes or do anything wrong, believing we should be perfect. But that's not reality. So remember, acceptance, confession, and taking the right actions to prevent the mistake from happening again is the way to deal with mistakes. As long as you're human, you'll make mistakes. Accept them, confess them, and take the right steps to prevent them from recurring. Learn from your mistakes and grow through them. Keep this in mind. Namaste, Buddha.